theme for this conference is Speak Out. Speak out about your financial struggles before it is too late. The emphasis of this session is that do not suffer in silence. God has not created us to bear our burdens alone. Speak out about your finances before it is too late. To be able to just address this briefly, I will just talk about some specific scenarios. And I want you to begin to picture where you belong, where your husband belongs, or where your wife belongs. Some individuals are struggling financially without letting their spouses know. There is now an evidence in research that money matters is one of the issues causing trouble in marriages. Money matters. And some individuals are struggling financially without letting their spouses know. They pretend that they are okay, but they couldn't sleep at night because of fear of court injunctions, because of the fear or the prospect of being visited by bailiffs. That was why we said earlier about mental health. If your wife is suffering from mental health, you will be affected. If your spouse, your husband, or your children, even extended family members are struggling with their mental health, it will affect you in one way or the other. So they pretend that everything is okay while things are not okay. Some even engage in self-harm as a way of crying out for help. There are also cases of individuals who took their own lives because they couldn't cope with financial stress. I always tell myself, I always tell people, from what I know, the moment your expenditure is more than your income, you are in trouble. I repeat, the moment your expenditure is more than your income, you are in trouble.
Big trouble.
Some people may work together at the beginning of their marriage, and after some years, if there's no agreement, everybody will start managing their own finance. The reality is that the one that is not managing well will still have problem. But at the end of the day, if one, maybe the husband is reckless, the wife is prudent, the same man will still, I mean, I've seen cases where the husband is begging his wife for money for bus pass. Yes. Speak out before it is too late. Another dimension is when your spouse is spending recklessly without control, buying cars and trucks and taking them to Africa, opening a boutique in Lekki and managing the business from here, paying someone a salary at the end of each month and visiting twice in a year. At the end of the day, the money that should have been used for other things here, that you can manage and enjoy your life together, is being spent by someone else. This can lead to financial mess when one of the two is spending recklessly. This can lead to debt. This can also lead to lack of intimacy. When we are talking about lack of intimacy, it's not only men. When a man is stressed because of financial problem, the generator down below will not function. When a woman is stressed, no matter what the man is saying, I love you, it doesn't enter anywhere. And that is why we are saying speak out about your financial struggles before it is too late. For example, a man was gambling away the money belonging to the family without the knowledge of his loyal wife. Is it a crime for a woman or a man to be loyal to the spouse? This is recommended. This is biblical. But this man was gambling away the money belonging to the family. She became devastated when she got to know the extent of the financial damage that the trusted the trusted husband has caused the family. This man was trusted only to realize that he's not someone to be trusted. Similarly, a woman was living beyond her means, buying expensive clothes and jewelries without working. She kept competing with her friends regarding the latest fashion in town. At the end of the day, there will be a financial crisis. Some men, some women ended up even behind their spouses to declare themselves bankrupt. Some took IVA without the knowledge of their spouses. At the end of the day, problem. Some, like the example I gave earlier, the person spending and spending, and without even letting the spouse knows when the decisions are made, but is expected to pick up the bills. And the other person is saying, I didn't plan for this. I live by budget. I didn't budget for this, but how will I pay for this? And the spouse will get annoyed. It may be a man, it may be a woman. This idea or this situation can affect the credit score of the spouse if they are linked together financially. And all these things are happening even in our time. Another painful situation is when the spouse is missing the rent or missing the mortgage. I mean, like I said, we hear stops every day. The man is saying, don't worry, everything is fine. The lawyer wife believes that this guy is paying, but this guy has gambled away the family money and is missing mortgage, only for the woman to see the letter from the bank to say, we are going to take this house away from you. That will bring stress. That will bring sleepless night. That will even bring conflict between the man and the woman. If the woman has been the respectful one before, on that day is going to look at the man in the eyes and say, what have you done? These are the situations that we need to look at very carefully. The saddest aspect of it is that everyone involved in the family will experience the negative impact of your poor financial decision. Even when your children make poor financial decisions, it will still affect you. Look at the story of the prodigal son. The dad that divided his wealth and gave the young man. Of course, we talk about the spiritual implication. There's joy in heaven when a sinner has repented. But this young man has already lavished and spent recklessly his own part of the father's estate. It will still affect the family in one way or the other. The person who is wasteful will be affected. The person who is prudent also will be affected. So what we are trying to say here, very briefly, you need the support of a professional person or a financial advisor when you find yourself in this situation. Like I mentioned earlier, the moment you and your spouse cannot agree, even if you're not yet married, if you and your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner to be cannot agree, you have discussed it, but you cannot agree, then you need a third party that will be able to facilitate the conversation. Therefore, you should speak out before it is too late. So I will say, brethren, there should be financial transparency between you and your spouse. And you must be intentional about financial management. You must be willing to cut down waste where possible. Always remember the principle. It is better when your income is more than your expenditure. If your expenditure is more, you either need to cut down some things or you go and look for more work so as to be able to increase the income. Encourage yourself or your spouse to go back to work. It is difficult to live successfully in life, especially in the Western world, without working or getting a source of income. So you should always remember, time is running out. You were 30 last year, you will be 31 this year. You are 50 last year, you will be 51 this year. Time is running out. You must be considerate. And I want to ask this question. Can you accept the financial stress that you are taking your spouse through as a husband, as a wife? The financial stress you're giving to your husband or to your wife, can you take it? I was counseling somebody the other time and I said, this that you are doing, will you be happy that someone do the same to your little sister? What you are doing to your wife. If every man is like you and your little sister eventually married a man like you, how would you respond to the way you are treating your wife? And it's vice versa too. So in conclusion, I have to jump some few things here. We have been able to examine the 3 vital areas where you need to speak out before it is too late. First, your mental health. Second is domestic violence. Third is your financial struggles. You and your spouse should be able to agree that you need help when you are struggling in these 3 areas. The implication is that these 3 areas can easily cripple vital areas of your marital relationship. It can cripple you spiritually, emotionally, and socially. This can lead to separation and divorce if left to linger for a long time. I pray that God will give us wisdom and the grace to be bold, to speak out before it is too late. God bless you.
Thank you. Mr. Beatrice, you are muted. Unmute yourself, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Thank you so much, Pastor Bakari. Yeah, we have a few questions left. I don't know if you want to treat that one first or you want to treat the one you've got with you before we move forward. We have just a few things.
Please, Sister Beatrice, because when doctors start with the one they have, we just round up. Okay, you finish. Sister Beatrice, go ahead, please.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a question here. It says, I just wanted to ask the pastor, what is the best way to resolve issues in marriages? Best way to resolve issues in marriages, sir?
The best way, like Sister Yemi mentioned earlier, is communication. Speaking out. And the way you speak out is very, very important. You see, like I said earlier in my own teaching too, one thing I've noticed again and again, when 2 people are preparing to get married, everyone is crazy. The adrenaline is running very, very, this marriage. But there are a lot of things that needs to be addressed that are not addressed. And after 2-3 months, the euphoria is over. We are back to reality. So before you even get married, opening your eyes wide, identifying the red flags and dealing with them, and even being willing to hold the marriage, put it on hold before certain things are addressed. I've worked with some people in the past, and I said, I'm not saying you should not get married though, but you need to address this and address that. It's up to you, because marriage is a personal decision. So dealing with some of these things before marriage is important, but after marriage, there will still be issues. This is where communication is vital. But presenting your case respectfully is important, whether as a man or as a woman. You must respect the other person and make sure that you are able to get your message across. If you present it responsibly, we expect that the other person to respond in a similar manner. Where that is not happening, that is why we have this theme of this conference this year: speak out before it is too late. Our mother in the Lord is there. You can reach out to her. You can ask her your questions. You can get the help that you need. If the situation would need some professional touch, she will signpost you to the right avenue. But I can assure you, more than 60% of issues can be addressed through communication.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So we will leave the floor open for you to address the questions that you've got with you, to answer the questions that has been sent earlier to you, sir.
So, Amy, do you want to start first?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm thinking is, for each question starts, I will just do a bit of top up,
Okay.
and then we can, and if I think I don't need to make any comment, I just leave it there.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, and hope everybody is still enjoying themselves. And thank you for spending that extra minutes just to trash this question that's been posted way back. Now, question 1 says, a couple got married traditionally and in church. They are both in Europe, and the man always cheats on the wife just because the documents of the woman is not strong enough to do their civil marriage in Europe, so that the woman will have full status. The man uses this as an opportunity to maltreat her. In this situation, what should the lady do? Should she end the relationship or just stay and keep praying that one day things might change? Now, from my own little sense, I just thought that the basis of marriage should be love, should be care for each other, or should be unconditional. But from this presentation, it looks like there's a bit of transactionality going on. I marry you for paper. So because there's now a condition attached to the relationship, this person who's asked the question, or whoever this question is asked about, is now found that she's sticking to whatever condition she's encountering in the marriage because there's a reason she's staying in there. Even ideal marriage that's based on love, there's still transaction because you exchange vows in church and you're expected to love each other. So if a relationship that's based on true love is still transactional in a way, and you encounter challenges there, now judge a situation that a wife is now tagging onto the husband because of paper. It then look artificial, it look transactional, and the wife is now forced to stay in there. You can't beat the immigration status of that country. You can't run away. You can't go and then suddenly marry another man. There's a condition there. Prayers alone will not do it. Prayers alone will not do it. My suggestion would be seek immigration counsel and see which way to go to either expedite action or take another route. But I don't think it should be the way the marriage ends just because you're waiting for papers. I'll let Reverend Bakari input into that, sir.
Thank you so much. I just want to add that as a man, Because as a counselor, we also have feelings. And I tell my clients, this is how this is making me feel. Honestly, this question is making me feel uncomfortable. Because I think treating a woman this way is not fair. It's unacceptable. And I'm having a feeling that even when the papers is sorted, this person will still cheat. And the moment someone can go to the extent of cheating, it's not good. Because it's the same person will not be happy if it is the other way around. Like I said earlier, some people, what they do to others, they can't take 1/10 of it. This person needs regeneration. This person needs to be born again. This person needs to be prayed for. And for me, that is actually the most important thing here. I've seen instances where both the man and the woman don't even have papers in this country, and they are living together happily. I've seen instances where only one person has been able to work out theirs, and they are still living together happily, looking for different avenues to work out together to ensure that everything is sorted. Like Sister Yemi said, it should be based on unconditional love. And I want to add one more thing, trust. This person is not trustworthy, and we must call a spade a spade. If you're not trustworthy, if I cannot trust you with other women, and you've done that again and again, you're breaking my heart. But if we have worked together, you've been a loyal husband, I've been a loyal wife, we can always have something to look forward to. So this person needs Jesus. This man needs Jesus. And we must really say. And then the traditional wedding, the legality in the eyes of the law, whether church wedding, except the church has the marriage, government recognized marriage certificate. If it is just the normal church blessing and the denominational certificate, or the customary traditional marriage, those are not legal in the eyes of the law. So there's need for us to also know that. And then another thing that I'm seeing from this question that actually makes me feel uncomfortable more, maltreating her. I underlined this in my own paper here. As a counselor, when I mean, just like what we have heard earlier from Sister Yemi about domestic violence, this is not fair. This man needs Jesus. This man needs Jesus. And whoever asks this question, I will encourage you to meet with Pastor Nisi just for continuous encouragement and support, because this is evidence of abuse. And if the man is someone that can be talked to, there's need to actually speak to this man and let him know that what he's doing is not fair. Because let's turn it the other way around. Because there are cases of women also who have the papers and the man doesn't have. I just came back from a mission field and I dealt with a similar situation. The woman is able to get a good job, the man couldn't because he doesn't have papers. But they are still living together. So it is your turn today. It can be my turn tomorrow. So the case of maltreating her is not fair. The case of staying with other women is not fair. This person needs Jesus, and we must call a spade a spade. Yeah. So for this woman, before thinking about ending the relationship, make sure you explore every avenue. In my counseling practice, I have a long list of questions that I ask clients when they are thinking about divorce. Stay or leave, question 1. Stay or leave. By the time we get to like 10, 15 questions, and then we now look at it, the person who was screaming and shouting, I want to go, you realize the fact that this person is not ready to go yet. And in some cases, through the answering of these questions, you will know that they are not meant for each other. But it is not still my responsibility as a counselor to say you're not meant for each other. All I will ask is, based on the answers you've given me, now what do you want to do? Because let me tell you this, and hear me right on this, everyone. If you divorce or you are separated, occasionally in your journey of life, may not be regularly, but once in a while, something will still make you feel, did I really take the right decision about this person? And that is why when I'm working with my clients, I take time to walk them through those questions, because they give you informed decisions in terms of what lies ahead. So when you are convinced that you have taken the right step, even if occasionally in the future that small voice comes back in a very subtle way, you will be able to say, I have processed this, I have taken the right decision, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But that it will not happen, forget it. Occasionally, it will happen. It may not be of God, it may be of the devil, it may be situational. Maybe something just happened to you and you, only if when this person was here, he will have done this. Maybe you just miss them for that particular moment. But when you have processed it and you have gone through the process thoroughly, you will be able to really, really confirm with assurance that the decision you have taken is the right one.
Thank you, sir. Should we go to the second one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. The second one says, some people believe that women are not supposed to preach in the church or give an opinion. If they have something, they should tell or ask their husbands at home. So this couple have a little bit of problem because the woman cannot fulfill her dreams of doing the work of God in the church because she's not allowed to preach. What should the woman do? I know that female role in church regarding preaching, churches have different doctrine. Because churches have different doctrine, we cannot generalize it as what every church does. However, I can tell that from the Bible, there's no way Jesus Christ discriminated against women. And any church or any group that discriminates against women for being women, then the church or the person is misogynistic in nature. But I'll let Reverend Bakari handle this better as the person who is in both in that division.
So you've answered the question. They are denominational beliefs. But the reality is that there's nothing that says women cannot preach or teach within the church. Don't forget, Apostle Paul was addressing a specific issue at the church of Corinth. I've given my seminary Bible college students questions on this on many occasions. To answer this person's, the last question, what should the woman do? Go and create a ministerial work for yourself. And there will always be opportunity for you to still be able to function. If you're not being given assignment, create an assignment for yourself. Go out there. There are souls out there that are yearning to actually receive what you have. When that begins to happen, different ministries will start inviting you to come and minister. And those who are not who are recognizing the grace of God upon your life will begin to recognize the fact that God has actually called you to something bigger than what they think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that one, sir. Great one. Number 3, can a woman of God who is a leader get married to someone who is already married to become a second wife? Maybe because the person is a king or has the capacity of taking care of many wives, as far as the man is also a Christian and will not disturb her from doing the work of God. Now, when I read this question, I'm thinking to myself, who is a Christian here? Who is a Muslim? We're mixing culture and expectation of culture with Christian expectations here. but I am a baby when it comes to things like this. I'm going to pass it on quickly to Reverend Bakari.
In the Old Testament, it's not a big deal. Yeah. But even in the Old Testament, show me a polygamist in the Old Testament who didn't have challenges. So even if it is allowed, how will he be able to share the love equally between the two? So that's a big question mark. In the Old Testament, he said no, 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 no.
No.
Because in the book of 1 Timothy, Apostle Paul was talking about someone who will be a church leader. It should be a man with one wife and a woman with one husband. Yeah. So if the situation is happening now, you are a servant of God, you are serving the Lord, and this situation is happening, well, I have the biblical empowerment and endorsement to say it's a no-go area. It is better to remain single, like Apostle Paul said, and serve the Lord faithfully and win souls. I don't know how old this person is, but let's say this person is 40 years. Yeah, at most you spend another 60 years and you will be 100. You will go back to your maker where you will be with him throughout eternity. So the situation, you marry me, I don't marry me, you divorce me, I don't, it is only applicable on this side of the earth. Where we are going, there's not going to be any marriage. So, and we allow that burden. I was ministering somewhere, and by the grace of God, myself and my wife just written a new book. There's a portion there where we said, there's no marriage in heaven. The person who is single today, with God's help, will be married tomorrow. The person who is married today will be single some years to come, because one of them will die.
We don't.
So at the end of the day, what are we talking about? We are all transient. I would rather, from what I know in the Bible, in the New Testament, is a no-no. If this person was a wife, a second wife, before she got born again, it's a different kettle of fish. Yeah. I hope you are listening to me. But three of them are unbelievers. Now they are born again, and this person is now experiencing the fact that God is calling them to serve in a particular area. I will say, go and seek counsel and still look for ways to fulfill the assignment that God has given to you. But in a situation where you're just considering it, it's just like stepping into a furnace, and it will burn you somehow. Somehow. I have to be blunt on this because that is what the Bible says.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Question 4. A family broke up their marriage with children, and the man was not present in the upbringing of the children, but only the mother. Then one of the sons started living a wayward life, and when the mother tried to correct him, he insulted the mother and the mother's family, that even though their father was not present in their lives, he's still his role model and hero. Later on, this boy started dating a girl. When the mother rebuked him that he's not supposed to fornicate with a girl he's not married to, he blocked the entire family members and ceased communication and moved in to start living with his girlfriend. And now the girl is pregnant. The mother finally left them alone and removed her hands from their lives. Now the girlfriend is sick and she wants to speak with the mother of the boy, but the mother does not want to see both of them. Is she doing the right thing? or should she respond to them? When I read this question, I looked into, because sometimes when you see issues like that, you just don't treat the immediate. You look at the genesis of it. So looking at the pattern of upbringing for the gentleman, the role model the gentleman was saying as a child, it has rebuilt because nature and nurture had impaired this child a little bit, so much that what he's grown to know and appreciate is skewed. Now that he's grown up, I'm just going to use this analogy very quickly. When you catch a fish, when the fish is still pliable and soft, you can mold it, you can paint it, you can cut it, you can dry it, you can grill it. But when the fish is dry and you try to bend it, you're going to crumble the fish. So for this that had happened to this young man, there is a need for empathy, there is a need for patience, there is a need for forgiveness, there's a need for understanding his perspective and what he'd been through. There is need for him to appreciate that he is loved. But if he doesn't see love in his mother, if all he sees is abuse to his father or the negativity, there's possibility he'll continue like that. Now that he's actually got a girlfriend, if the mother now ignores the girlfriend, where is forgiveness? Your son had gone through this stage. It's not the boy's doing. We also have impact in the choices our children make, except we pray for them and commit them to God's hand. It might be difficult. So I will suggest to this person to please. Now, this is a girl who is pregnant coming into the family. You can actually, as a mother, I will want to go through the girl, her pregnancy, to reach my son with love, so that maybe we can have opportunities to sit together. I can apologize to areas where I've hurt him in the past, so I can help him to be better. We just talked about a gentleman who was 40 and how he was behaving. So we need to nip this at the bud. The mother, with all apologies on the behalf of everybody that's wronged the woman in the family, please, ma, let's look at the fact that we have contributed to the choices the young man is making. We also should be able to forgive and support them at this vulnerable stage, so we can impact the younger kid coming to do it better. That's just my view. But Reverend Bakari, sir, thank you.
In addition, I just want to say that a prodigal son is still a son, though he's prodigal, but he's still your son. And as much as possible, I love the story of the prodigal son. The father had the opportunity and the means to stop him from going, but he didn't. And I remember some years ago, Sister Yemi gave us a lecture about parenting, and I agree. Sometimes you let your you're willing to let go. Yeah, but open the door wide. That was what the father of the prodigal son did. Continue to show love where possible. When they go out there and they see that, so all these things that my parents have been telling me, then they will learn. And you don't want to close the door the day they are coming back home. Because the father of the prodigal son opened, if he didn't open his door, the boy can still go back and then maybe go and kill himself, or go and carry on working as a slave somewhere. But the father embraced him, and they were happy together after. I also want to say that if the girl is not legally married to this boy, I'm not saying, because I support everything Sister Yemi said. The mother should open the door, both for the girl and for our own son as well. Don't give them too much help that you yourself can't afford. Show love and give the help that you are able to afford. But the girl also has a mother who's supposed to also look after our daughter. Two of them are matured adults. And one of the things I tell people, especially my children nowadays, the moment you are 18 and above, it's no longer what your parents did or did not do. It also now involves your own personal choices. So he has made the choices. He can do up and down and pregnant a girl. Then he should be willing to go and to a construction site or to a warehouse and do a bit of work where he will be able to look after what he has also started. So the mother should show love. The mother should be involved in the process, but not taking over everything. Letting them know that they also have a responsibility, because that's their the kind of choice that they make.
Thank you very much, sir. Number 5, a lady got married to a man because of documents, because they were about to throw him out of the country. Now the document is still in progress, and the current president that entered power is making it difficult to achieve this goal and give the man his paper. The home is shaky. What must she do? I don't want to liken this to the previous one, but I'm happy that there is no abuse here, evidence in this report. However, we look at the situation and put it on ground. The man won paper the way, so there was a basis for the marriage because of the document to stay in the country. Neither the husband nor the wife has an effect on the law changing in the country. If the home is now shaky, prayer alone cannot sort it. They need to seek immigration counsel, seek legal counsel, and speak with the pastor in the church to support them in prayer while they still do the needful physically. I'm going to ask. I'm not a guru on immigration stuff, and I don't think Reverend Bakari is. But on the marriage side, I'll ask Reverend Bakari to input, sir.
Yeah, I think the counsel given is spot on.
Yes, sir.
I just want to put a little bit of searchlight on the question. So the man was about to be deported. This person married him. Is it a case of I'm looking for a husband, you are looking for a wife, or I'm looking for paper and I'm happy to help you on the ground that you give me money? Because you are mentioned transactional relationship here. So, and the Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, what shall the righteous do? So if the foundation is shaky, definitely whatever is built on it will be shaky. Is this an opportunity for the two of them to seek counsel and go back to the drawing board? The president is here, is only there for 4 years. If there are some couples in the US, both the man and the woman don't have paper and they are still living together, joyfully and happily. And in some cases, it's one, the other one is here to go through. Where there is love, where there is trust, where there is togetherness, that will be possible. I just treated a case recently where a man was a similar situation. The man was to be deported, and then he quickly left the country, and then the woman agreed, followed him to Nigeria, they did everything, and then the woman now brought him to the US. And within a few months, the man moved from one state to another. So you can see that the basis of the marriage from the beginning wasn't about love. And I always tell people, those of us who are Christians, those of us who have reasons to get married, we still have challenges. How much more people who are not Christians? Because we are human beings and we are all imperfect human beings. So as it is, seek counsel where possible. And like Sister Yemi said, we are happy that there is nothing mentioned about domestic violence here, and that is good news. The president who is there now, very soon, in another 3 years, few months, he will leave. And other things will be resolved accordingly.
Thank you, sir. The sixth one and the last on the script. A lady got married to a pastor. Later on, the pastor resigned from the ministry he was serving. Under that, he wants to open his own church. He's not working, and right now, all the burden is on the wife. She just gave birth to their second baby, and 2 weeks later, she had to return to work because they need money. The girl's family, that's the wife's family, is not happy with the situation because their daughter looks so stressed and white, like someone who has shortage of blood in her body. What should the family of the girl do in this situation? Take note that this man is not proactive to do something to cater to his family. He's just sitting at home, lazing about, and the wife does all the financing. Now, this breaks my heart to know that first, the person is a pastor. What is he portraying as a pastor? If I were this blessed woman who has stuck up this far, I'll report the pastor to other pastors. Isn't there other senior pastors in the church who can be private to what is happening? Because it's like it's an intentional thing. He's sitting at home, lazing about, and letting the wife who just gave birth to a 2-week-old baby go to work. What do we expect the family to do but to be upset? However, I would suggest that the girl actually flags it, as Reverend Bakari has been saying repeatedly, that if you're trying to make a conversation to sort an issue out within yourself and it's not working, then it's time to introduce the situation or to express that to another person who can help, who would have a positive impact. That should be the next step for this lady. Otherwise, she will be unwell. She's got a little kitty to look after and another one. It just looks drier. But do they have premarital counseling? What was the prospect they were looking at? Family input, was it negative or positive? Were they supporting the lady with money or not? And counseling with an elder will be the way to go. Otherwise, I don't understand it. Sir, I pass it on to you.
Honestly, this makes me feel unhappy.
Mm.
And it makes me feel uncomfortable. The Bible says, he who does not take care of his family is worse than an infidel.
Yes, sir.
That's what the Bible says. So what is this person preaching? What is this person preaching? This makes me feel uncomfortable. God forbid, if this woman collapses at work and die, within 6 months, this man will look for another girl. So if you have the strength to be doing but you don't have the strength to go out and work and support the family. In the Western world, even pastors who have sizable churches that they know that their churches cannot look after them, they go out and look for some part-time work to support themselves. Apostle Paul in the first century did the same. He was a tent maker. Despite having a PhD in law, he was still working on construction sites to raise money for his missionary journey. I'm a pastor for 34 years. In order not to be a burden to my ministry, I have to be working. I have to train as a professional counselor and have my own practice where I can charge money and look after myself and look after my family too. This one doesn't need us beating about the bush. It's in the Bible. The one who cannot cater for his family is worse than an infidel. So there's need for someone that this person can listen to let him know that what he is doing is wrong. The same person will not allow anyone, any pastor, to do that same thing to his daughter or to his little sister. So what are we talking about? In fact, this makes me angry, not at the woman, but at the so-called pastor, because what he has done and still doing is not fair, it's wrong. Even if the woman is not unwell, in the Western world, one person alone to be working, to be feeding the entire family. Even two people are working, they are still managing to be able to balance the books. So for me, this is another evidence of domestic violence.
Emotional abuse.
And it makes me feel unhappy, honestly.